realize that I lost the transmission. On Windows, it doesn't blank out like that, so that's kind of when the Windows comes out of focus here, it blanks out. That's I'm going to contact these people and ask them if they can put that code. It's a web Restream is a web app, and I told them they should have built an app years ago, but they still haven't done it. I understand the concept and how it saves them money and saves application issues. But I mean, they didn't tell me that. I know. Once you build an app, well, they can make it so it doesn't disconnect when you're not in the window. As soon as I leave the window, but so again, I'm not sure what you're hearing what you're doing here, but we're gonna go over it. There's things coming in, so you should see cues. Maybe it's because I'm focused on it. I don't know. So I'm seeing them. Okay, so this is a cue, but I can't. I don't know how it applies. The connect is understandable, but pass there. Says add scene. I just think you have to. It may just be due diligence. I don't know, but you need to reinvestigate the crash. But you need to check to see, do you have anything else that might fit that crash. Again, there's 4 high value targets in that vehicle. It could just be witchcraft, but and again, I don't know if they're deep state that could have attacked them, but I don't know. You know. So let me see if I can get this up here. Change the graphic. Well, my Facebook isn't working. That's why I'm here. Somebody's hacking my Facebook. It's probably sabotage. Yeah, sabotage. That's the thing. That's I'll post this later on my Facebook. Okay. I was going to take the black curtains out, but it said leave the black curtains in there. Might mean something. I'll probably definitely have to see. We can read this. All right. So Connect came up. I don't use this one as much, if at all. I'm going to fade it out completely. Well, eventually they can learn the IPs around this app and this service, and then they get in the middle. But especially first Central, in reference to CIA, first the Central America and the South America came up, and then Africa started coming up. Vanish came up, and then IP. But Vanish was bigger. So maybe you're too seen. You might want to reassess again. Whatever the mission is, the mission is. If the mission is to be seen, or it doesn't matter, something saying you might be too seen, too visible. And that could be that like IP, and then also you need to institute a program in Mexico, or just check on the program if they have it. Most uh, special activities people realize what a PMCS is. Hopefully, you have some people that are well at it. It's very important to have specialists in PMCS. So, well, there may have been something wrong with the vehicle. Again, it could be driving too fast conditions. You realize that happens, especially late at night when you're trying to go home and get to sleep. Yeah, it needs an NTSB type of investigation. But again, it might be difficult because apparently it was a pretty bad. but it's not uncommon in Mexico. Got that kind of terrain. So again, it's just strange that it's that vehicle. Make sure you spread out the people that are the high threat targets because again, ambush is always a possibility. I mean, maybe you had enough intelligence to know you were great. Nothing was going to stop you. But in an ambush, all they would have to do is kill that first vehicle, and then again, boom, and that could have been an ambush. Could have been a sniper bullet. Be difficult, but not impossible. But again, maybe somebody thought thought because it's the first vehicle, I guess. What was the first vehicle? So again, when you're trying to counter an ambush scenario, having those four people in one vehicle is not unless it's an the armored vehicle. So you only have one armored vehicle. But again, that is an inherent weakness of the, or maybe it isn't. Check the tires out. Check what kind of tires they're using. Vehicles, what kind of vehicles do they use? Is there something you need to do to change that paradigm? And again, they may bring you on the vehicle. Again, speed limits. If the speed limit is 65 and you're traveling in a armored vehicle, some drive well, some don't. Might be a reason to, as far as let's say tactically, as far as command limitations, changing the speed limit, change the speed limit for certain vehicles. I don't know. Obviously, helicopters, and this might be leading up to additional helicopters in Mexico. So this is what I would say. Um, I don't know. Let me see if there's a position in Mexico. Military. Who were they? Oh, they were the police. The policemen. PMC. Let me see if PMC has something. PMCS, Mexico, vehicle program. Well, you want hacker. Oh, is the reason they're hacking? Yeah, because they're pieces of shit. Okay. I mean, I'm not here to play your game. I'm trying to play a cycle. Okay, so you are testing. So okay, you're also looking at new vehicles and modernization. So let's this gives a chance to look at PMCS and who's in charge. Okay, okay, so they're upgrading. All right, so somebody, and I know they have people, but let's just look at it and see if there's something we can do better. Because there's somebody who's in charge of maintenance of vehicles. I would hope, like the number one guy in the maintenance division. But again, we're in Mexico. We're looking at the army. We're looking at all the services, and we're also looking at law enforcement that have similar type tactical units, which we do here, but it's probably a little bit more now. So somebody, I should get my phone, but Who is in charge of well, once they get the vehicles, we want to make sure they're maintained. I'm not saying they don't. Supposedly, they have a great maintenance program, but it's the that's I'm looking for a military entity. So it goes up to secretary. Oh wait, director of military transportation. Okay. Yeah, those people. We have to contact them, and so help them maintain vehicles. We just make sure that again, you get into a special ops unit, which they generally are. I don't know how busy they are, but maintenance can fall to the background. Wait, this is on people. How do I get the U.S.? Oh no, okay. Okay, so the people that are doing the upgrade need to, yeah, they should do a stand. I don't know, we do a stand down sometimes, but well, I when you're in the military, all of a sudden they just tell you to go look at everything. So that's we're doing maintenance intensive, I guess you could call it, just to rule out things. And then aging vehicles. Okay, fleet modernization keeps coming. I just right transportation for military service. Oh, they do have that. What's the yeah, we'll just use them in yeah, yeah, it looks like they would be probably the best people to do it anyway, unless there's someone else. The people that are upgrading the maintenance, I mean, upgrading the vehicles in Mexico need to ensure their PMCS program is up and running right. So you probably have people that can help them. See, right? So advisors in that regard. Again, you have Pentagon people. And again, assess the accident. If it was traveling too fast for conditions at night, you understand mission essential, but maybe slow down a little bit, especially in certain vehicles. I don't know if they were driving. Reassess vehicles. I'm not a big fan of those pickup trucks, and you're actually doing stuff. Modernization. So whoever your head transportation slash maintenance person is. So what we want to do is we want to, especially since we're upgrading. Again, this is, I have to go back and think about it because it's just something we do. When you're upgrading, a lot of times that's when a commander will reassess the maintenance program just to make sure that the new vehicles don't suffer something that an older vehicle people don't care too much about. Okay, so there's a General Directorate of Military Industry. They're saying bring them in. Responsible for the production and maintenance of some domestic and foreign. Okay, yeah. So get everybody on the same sheet of music, and that's pull in all your people that are responsible for vehicle upgrade and upkeep, and then make sure the program's up. I brought this. I think I brought PMC up as up before in Mexico. I can't. Again, I can't go to my X and look it up. Okay, then also highway maintenance came up. Was there something wrong with that? And of course, we know some. Again, that's the idea of it. If you keep losing pickup trucks, you can't use your money for other stuff. Same thing with illegal aliens versus immigration. Waste money and degrades the quality of life for immigrants. It really does. Well, it's like, if you knew your neighbor, you don't always know your neighbor's dealing dope. So you're like that damn drug problem is your neighbor. Okay, filling potholes. So that was something the previous president. So Obrador said that there was corruption in the road maintenance contracting business. And because you fix it and then 2 years especially so he put military insurance. Yeah, make sure your money's getting your money's worth in your road maintenance program. I don't know who's doing it now. Apparently the military is going to take it over. The Mexican Navy, SEMAR, handles its own vehicle and naval vessel maintenance with the naval systems. Right, so all these people need to be apprised that they need to look at. It's a good time to pause and look at all of that, especially during an upgrade, because upgrades are coming. So we need to look at that. Again, the only reason you would put your four high value people in the same vehicle, and again, you don't think about it till you think about it, would be if the vehicle was more protected for some reason. And then again, now you see, even that might be a reason not to do it. Well, they were high level people; they weren't normal hands on people. And again, the old theory that they should be sitting in a command center somewhere, like a situation room, looking through cameras instead of going out there. Now the advisors, that's their job, but the two Mexican leaders, I think, still in with the media involved. We did my research. Let me see. Well, the key is for the Americans not to engage in traditional law enforcement roles, but be available for advisement. There's a lot of reasons. They, I don't even know if they watched it or not. They should be watching it so they can do an after action review. Again, they come in there, they train groups of people. They go on the operation. If there are any questions, uh, if they if they observe all sorts of things, and they'll notify them, hey, you did this wrong, you did this right, that kind of thing. So that's what they're most likely do. Well, because they have to. The goal is, I think, eventually is for the advisors to move on to another group or something like that. So once they get that unit trained and up to snuff, the advisors can move on to another group if that's what they're doing. I'm not sure, but it's generally an advisor. And then, they do receive also intelligence back and forth. Concentrate. Well, Chihuahua. Well, because yeah, that's the point. I mean, it's even local or state. Two Mexican officials. Okay, two. He's usually a guy that sits in a command center and watches this on cameras. Yeah, so you lost two big guys, I think. I know the one here. So, well, and maybe that's part of the upgrade that we can do. Helmet cams. Probably this day and age is all that expensive. How to transmit that, I'm not sure. Again, you may not get into the expense of satellite in dealing with Mexico. But again, if you're going to transport four people at that level of value, they need to be in separate vehicles if you can, unless there's some overwhelming reason to do it the other way. And obviously, even that is questionable at this point. All right.